Hello, my name is Lauren Botine, Channel Technical Agronomist here in West Central Iowa. Going to talk a little bit today about Western bean cutworm and proper corn trait selection that you and your Channel Seed Pro can kind of go through and talk about proper hybrid selection and proper scouting techniques for Western bean cutworm. So here in West Central Iowa, I have been coming across the last at least 2 years for sure, fields that have corn that has ears that look like this. So Western bean cutworm is typically a pest that we really don't see economic threshold of. It's just kind of around once in a while. You'll see an ear that looks like this, but here in West Central Iowa, this is definitely becoming kind of the norm. You're seeing ears that have the tips fed on, the kernels kind of fed on that around the tip of the cob, and then kernels that are fed on that are inside the husk from the larvae kind of burrowing through the husk a little bit. So you're seeing a kind of a wide range of different kind of damage and feeding and things. So typically with Western bean cutworm, bulk majority of the damage you'll see is where the larvae will burrow a hole through the side of the husk when those kernels are kind of finishing out past the dense stage, or kind of towards the end of the dough and end of dense stage, and you'll see them causing some damage, not only from like a yield loss perspective, but you're also going to have those kernels opened up to a lot of moisture, and then also some grain quality issues and concerns there with molds and grain quality. Like I said, even some of those kernels are starting to sprout sometimes with, if there is any rainfall that happens after that husk is kind of opened up a little bit. So just a little bit of a yield concern as well as some grain quality concerns with this pest. So a little bit about Western bean cutworm, so you're a little bit more educated on kind of what they are, what they do. They overwinter as pre-pupae in the soil, so it's kind of like a little pupal sac, but they are local, so they're going to kind of stay in this local area, and if you have issues, you're going to probably continue to have issues because they're just going to kind of fly around in that local area. And I do envision seeing the populations kind of growing out here from West Central Iowa too, but you're going to probably want to start scouting when you hear of the first moth being captured in pheromone traps. And I don't know many farmers or even myself that have pheromone traps laying around, but Iowa State University does a very good job with their trapping network. So check in with them. About early to mid-July is when we can expect these adult moths to be kind of flying around. But from that mid-July to early August timeframe, then those males and females are going to be mating, and then laying. The females are going to be laying eggs on corn plants that are prior to tassel. That's kind of their favorite plant of choice, anyway, is plants that are pre-tassel. So you're looking for egg masses near the top of the plant, kind of towards the flag leaf. And then once those egg masses hatch, you'll see little brown larvae railing around a little bit, and then as those larvae progress, you'll see they'll kind of mature more into kind of a pinkish color with a really distinctive two broad stripes behind their back of their head that gives them that Western bean cutworm look. But kind of a big important part to not only the grain quality, like I mentioned earlier, but one larvae per ear can cause about a 4 bushel per acre yield loss in corn. Here in West Central Iowa, I come across fields where every single plant has larvae feeding on kernels. So that's instead of just one ear getting fed on, there's multiple. So very much past threshold with some of these. Very concerning. So what you're doing when you're looking for, when you're scouting and trying to decide at a proper time to maybe spray an insecticide, that'll probably typically come with your fungicide pass if you do choose to choose one. But that's what typically I would say is a good time to try and hit these western bean cutworm larvae with that insecticide pass if you so choose. But you're looking for 5 different locations throughout the field, I would say, because sometimes western bean cutworm can be a little patchy here and there. But within those locations, 5 locations, you want to choose 20 consecutive plants and be looking for larvae that are not only towards the top of the plant, but in the silks towards the tip of the ear. But like I mentioned earlier, where a lot of that damage is found towards the center of the husk, and even inside of the husk. But if you're finding multiple sizes or different larvae of different sizes, that's going to be western bean cutworm, not corn earworm. You can kind of confuse those sometimes. They look very similar, but corn earworm are cannibalistic. They do not like friends within the ear, whereas western bean cutworm, that more the merrier. But when you're scouting, if you get about 5% of plants that have larvae on them within your counts, that's economic threshold for you to probably get out there and do an insecticide application. But I've found working with cooperators around here, sometimes that insecticide application does do some good, but it doesn't get them all, I guess. So these larvae are on the underside of leaves. They're already maybe inside the husk of the ear, already starting to do some of their damage. So an insecticide doesn't kind of seal the deal, if you will. That's where we'll be talking about trait selection. Trait selection is probably the last piece of the puzzle here to really help control western bean cutworm damage on some of these fields that are progressively getting worse with feeding. So I've highlighted here. So the channel brand has Tricepta hybrids, and then we have VT4 Pro corn options as well. So the Tricepta technology, that's above ground only corn that we have to offer, and then VT4 Pro is above ground, and then also has a 2 modes of action below ground. So if you want to do some of that, maybe rotated acre or maybe first year or second year corn on corn. But I've highlighted here in red are the Tricepta corn blends that we have available. Western bean cutworm has 1 mode of action for protection against that. And then we often kind of forget about corn earworm, but some of the traits or BT traits that we have for corn earworm are getting a little bit old and need a little help. That's where also when you have the Tricepta technology, it also adds an additional gets you to 3 modes of action for corn earworm. And then, like I mentioned, VT4 Pro, you have 3 modes of action for corn earworm, 1 for western bean cutworm, and then a little bit of help for corn rootworm if you so choose. But so as you can see here, the Tricepta offerings that we have, as well as VT4 Pro for the channel brand. Within the industry, those are one of the only options you really have for like singular modes of action to help control against western bean cutworm, and in a lot of scenarios, corn earworm as well. So that's really exciting for me at the here at the channel brand. We'll talk to you. Hopefully, you can reach out to your local channel seed pro to help place the right product on the right acre and choose the right traits for the right acre. Your channel seed pro knows your fields like the back of their hand and can help place the right product for the right acre. But please reach out to your local channel seed pro to talk a little bit more about western bean cutworm and our Tricepta offerings, as well as VT4 Pro going forward, as I feel like I mentioned earlier, those corn offerings that we have are going to be the final piece to the puzzle when it helps to controlling western bean cutworm in the immediate west central Iowa area. But I very much appreciate your time today. Again, my name is Lauren Botine, Channel Technical Agronomist here in west central Iowa.